Ever think about your car being like a silent witness, always watching, even when you're not there? Well, that's kind of what happened in Texarkana, Texas on Tuesday, March 25th this year.
Oh, yeah, I heard about this. What was it? Some Tesla vandalism?
Vandalism's putting it mildly. So uh, these Tesla incidents suddenly became like national news. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw it was more than just someone keying a car or something.
Right. We're not talking about a few scratches here. It's someone allegedly using, get this, a mini four-wheeler.
Like one of those little ATV things?
Yeah, exactly. One of those small quads like you see kids riding sometimes.
Oh.
To ram into, are you ready for this? At least one parked Tesla.
No way.
And then, and this is where it gets really weird, carving Elon into some other Teslas.
That's so strange. What's the deal with that?
It's a truly bizarre story, and it just brings up so many interesting points about, I don't know, like modern life.
Totally.
Which is why we're going to do a deep dive on it today. So,
All right, let's get into it.
you sent over a bunch of news reports, and we're going to unpack this whole Texarkana Tesla situation.
Sounds good.
We'll go over, like, the sequence of events, the role technology played, the legal stuff that's happening now, and maybe even touch on, I don't know, some of the bigger picture societal things going on.
Oh, without getting lost in, like, the constant news cycle.
Exactly. So we get the core of it. What's fascinating to me is how something that seems like a really localized thing, in some Texas town can suddenly become like this national story.
Yeah. It's really interesting, like a microcosm of all these different things going on.
Right. It gets at, like, individual motivations, but also how much technology is just part of our lives now.
Oh, for sure. And how that connects to crime, but also how we find out about crime and solve it.
Totally. And as you mentioned, there might even be some, like, bigger societal undercurrents going on that are worth thinking about.
Definitely worth exploring. So where do we start?
Okay, let's break down what actually happened. So Tuesday, March 25th, 2025. That's the day it all went down.
Right.
The guy who's been arrested is a 33-year-old named DeMarcin Marquise Cox.
DeMarcin Marquise Cox. Got it.
And the early reports, they say, they detail this pretty unusual way of doing this vandalism.
Yeah, you mentioned the ATV, right?
Right, using this mini four-wheeler to ram into a Tesla.
I mean, that's not just, like, keying a car. That's something else.
No, not at all. And then the Elon carved into other cars,
Yeah.
It makes you think there's something more specific going on.
Oh, yeah. It feels targeted, for sure. It's not random.
Right. It's beyond random property damage, for sure.
And you said it wasn't just one spot. This happened in a couple places.
Yeah, they're saying it happened in the parking lots of a Golden Palace Chinese buffet and a Lowe's.
A buffet and a hardware store. That's kind of a weird combination.
It's a pretty surreal picture, right?
Yeah.
Almost comical in a way.
It is. It's like, what? The detail about the ATV, though, that's getting me.
Right.
That's not something you just do on a whim. It's like he planned this.
Right. There had to be some premeditation. Makes you wonder, was there a bigger message he was trying to send?
Maybe he wanted to do more than just, scratch the paint, make a real statement.
In doing it in multiple public places.
Mm-hmm.
That takes some, I don't know, some boldness.
For sure, yeah. And the Elon, we've got to talk about that.
Right.
It's like a giant flashing arrow pointing to, I don't know, is it Elon Musk himself? Or maybe just Tesla.
It seems pretty clear it's connected to one or the other, or maybe even both.
Yeah, it's not just a random outburst, right? Something else is going on. Do they say how he carved it? I mean, was it paint? A knife?
That's an interesting question. Now that you mention it, the reports don't actually say how the carving was done. They just say Elon was found on multiple vehicles.
Huh. You'd think that would be a detail they'd include.
You're right. It could be important. Maybe it'll come out later as the investigation continues.
Makes sense.
But, this actually brings us to, like, a really important part of all this, how they figured out who did it so quickly.
Oh, yeah. How'd they even know it was this guy?
It all comes down to technology. Specifically, Tesla's Sentry Mode.
Ah, yeah, I've heard about that.
So for those who don't know, Sentry Mode is basically like a built-in security system on all Teslas.
Like a dash cam, but way more intense.
Yeah, more than that. When the car's parked and locked, the cameras outside, they turn on, and they're basically recording all the time.
So it's constantly watching?
Yeah.
That's a little Big Brother-ish, isn't it?
It can feel that way, but in this case, it's what caught the guy. If those cameras see any movement, anything that could be a threat, they start recording right away.
So in this case, they caught him red-handed, basically.
Pretty much, yeah. The system recorded him, allegedly, using the ATV to hit one of the Teslas.
Talk about bad timing. Well, bad timing for him, good timing for catching him, I guess.
Right. And this footage, it was crucial for the Texarkana police to even know who they were looking for.
It's amazing how much technology is just built into our stuff now, isn't it?
It really is, and how much of a role it plays in stopping crime or
Yeah.
solving it.
It's like those doorbell cameras everyone has now, constantly recording everything.
Right, and it raises a lot of questions about privacy, like where's the line?
Exactly. And what's interesting here is the quality of the footage these systems get. It's not some grainy, blurry mess. It's often high definition. You can see everything.
You're right, it's not like old civility cameras. So essentially, these cars become like these constantly vigilant witnesses.
It's a bit wild to think about all this data being collected all the time.
Right, and by private cars, not even like official surveillance systems.
Makes you wonder how much footage is out there that we don't even know about.
Exactly. It's a whole other conversation about privacy and what's acceptable. Kind of reminds me of the whole debate about those doorbell cameras.
Totally. It's like they're for security, but they also end up capturing so much random stuff.
Yeah, it's a tricky balance, and we're still figuring it out as a society,
Yeah.
But because of this video evidence, the Texarkana Police Department, they moved really fast.
And they arrested this Cox guy.
Yep. And he's facing some serious charges now. Felony criminal mischief, for one.
Felony. Wow. Why is that?
Because the damage to at least one Tesla is estimated to be between $2,500 and $30,000. Once you hit that amount, it crosses into felony territory.
So it's based on how much money it costs to fix it.
Right. And he's also facing a charge for not giving his ID to the police.
Didn't cooperate, huh? What else could they charge him with?
Well, they've said they might add more charges as they keep investigating, especially because of the damage to those other Teslas, the ones with the Elon carvings.
Right. So what happens now? Is he in jail?
He's being held at the Bi-State Justice Center, and his bond's been set at $105,000.
That's a lot. They're not messing around.
No, they're not. Felony criminal mischief, depending on the details and how much damage was done, it can come with big penalties like huge fines and even jail time.
Wow, it really escalated quickly from some car damage.
It did. And, on top of that, the Tesla owners, they could sue him too.
They could sue him, yeah. What for?
In civil court to get the money back for fixing their cars. And remember, that extra charge for not giving his ID,
Yeah.
that just adds another layer of legal trouble for him.
It's interesting, because you think of vandalism, it doesn't sound that bad, but...
But it can have some serious consequences.
Exactly. Big time legal and financial repercussions, especially when it goes above a certain dollar amount.
Right. And the civil lawsuits, those can be really costly too, not just for fixing the car, but also legal fees, all of that.
Right. It all adds up. And that bond amount, $105,000, that says a lot about how seriously they're taking this.
Oh, absolutely. And then, of course, there's the whole question of why he did it in the first place.
Yeah, what's the motivation here?
Well, the Elon carvings, those seem to be the biggest clue.
They definitely suggest he's got something against Elon Musk or Tesla, right?
Exactly. It seems like there's some kind of animosity there, whether it's personal towards Elon Musk or against Tesla as a company, or maybe both.
It has to be more than just random anger, right?
Right, especially with that carving. But the authorities, they've said that Cox hasn't said why he did it.
So we're left to guess.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
We've got to look at the clues we have and see what makes sense. We've definitely seen more and more of this stuff online,
Like what?
People targeting brands, public figures, all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, I've seen that. It can get pretty intense online.
It can. And it's driven by all kinds of things. Strong opinions, misinformation, even just negativity.
Right. The internet can be a breeding ground for that kind of stuff.
It can, for sure. And it's worth mentioning, although this is based on what's going around online and hasn't been confirmed officially,
Okay.
that there's been talk about the FBI maybe looking into whether this could be something more serious, like domestic terrorism.
Wait, really? Because of some vandalism?
It's not confirmed, but it's out there. It just shows how seriously some people are taking this and how vandalism, especially when it seems targeted like this,
Can be seen as something bigger.
Exactly. It makes you think about where the line is between vandalism and something more serious.
Yeah, it's blurry sometimes. So if the FBI is looking at this, what are they looking for? Like, what makes them think it could be terrorism?
That's a really good question. I'm not an expert on that, but I imagine they'd be looking for any signs that it wasn't just a personal thing, like was it meant to scare or threaten a whole group of people?
Right, so not just about damaging some cars.
Exactly. They'd probably also look into whether there are any ties to extremist groups or if this is part of a pattern, like have other people done similar things?
That would definitely make it more serious.
For sure. And the fact that it involves Elon Musk, a very public figure, who's known for being, well, controversial sometimes.
That probably adds another layer of complexity to it.
It does. It's not just some random guy being targeted. It's someone who's in the news all the time, who people have really strong opinions about.
That makes sense. So it's no surprise this got national attention then.
Oh, it blew up. Major news networks, social media, everywhere.
Yeah, I saw it all over my feeds too.
And it's interesting, the Sentry Mode footage, it was what led to the arrest, right?
Right.
But it also started all these conversations about privacy, which is something we've touched on a bit.
It's a double-edged sword, isn't it?
It really is. On one hand, it helped catch a suspect, gave the police evidence they needed.
But on the other hand, it's like constant surveillance.
Exactly. And not by the government, by private companies. It's a tough ethical question.
It is. And then you have all the talk online about whether there's going to be more vandalism against Teslas.
Yeah, people were speculating like crazy about that.
People think it might be politically motivated, right?
Right, because of how polarizing Tesla and Elon Musk can be.
Yeah, people have really strong feelings about them one way or the other.
They do. But again, we have to be careful. This is all stuff from online discussions. It hasn't been confirmed by the police or anything.
Right. Important to remember that. But all this brings us to, like, the bigger picture, right?
Exactly. This didn't happen in a vacuum.
Yeah. Like, how does this fit into everything else that's going on?
Right. We're living in a time that's pretty tense,
Oh,
right?
definitely. Lots of division.
Yeah. And it feels like all that tension can come out in weird ways sometimes.
Yeah, this could be one of those ways.
It could be. And social media, it doesn't help, does it?
It's a mixed bag, right? It connects people, but it also...
It can make things worse.
Yeah, it can amplify extreme views, make people even more divided.
It's like the real world and the online world are constantly feeding into each other.
A feedback loop.
Exactly. But it's important to remember, technology itself isn't good or bad. It's just a tool.
Right. It depends on how it's used.
And in this case, we see that duality really clearly. Like, on the one hand, maybe online platforms played a role in shaping this guy's views or whatever led him to this.
But on the other hand, the technology, the Sentry Mode, that's what caught him.
Right. It's a powerful tool for both stopping crime and solving it.
It's wild. It really shows the complicated relationship we have with technology. It can be a problem and a solution at the same time.
It really can. What about the police in all this? They seem to have handled it pretty well.
Yeah, the Texarkana Police Department, they were quick, efficient. Got to give them credit for that.
They did a good job. It shows how important it is to have thorough investigations to really follow through on these kinds of things.
And their collaboration with technology, using that Sentry Mode footage, that was key.
Oh, totally. That's what made the difference. It makes you wonder, what's next? What are the implications of all this?
Good question. Will we see more people, like, getting extra security on their EVs?
Maybe, yeah. Or maybe even more advanced versions of these surveillance systems on all kinds of cars, not just Teslas.
It's not hard to imagine that happening.
Not at all. And legally, what happens in this case with the Sentry Mode footage and how it's used as evidence, that could set some precedents for other cases in the future.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see how it plays out, if it changes how these things are handled legally.
For sure. And the big takeaway for me is that we really need to be talking more about how technology is changing the way we think about crime,
Oh, absolutely. This case just highlights how much it's already changed things.
Right. And it's only going to get more complex.
Right.
So let's wrap this up, bring it all together. What did we learn from this bizarre story in Texarkana?
Lay it on me.
It's more than just some crazy vandalism with an ATV and some weird carvings. It's this whole mix of things.
It's like a perfect storm of different factors.
Exactly. You have the incident itself, the role technology played in catching the suspect, the legal stuff that's happening now, which could be pretty serious.
And the likely motivations, which seem to be tied to Elon Musk or Tesla.
Right. And then how this whole thing blew up nationally, got everyone talking about privacy, about technology, about the tensions in our society. It's wild.
It's wild how it went from this small town thing to this big, complex issue.
It really is. And we did this deep dive based on the reports you sent over to try and make sense of it all.
Get the full picture without getting lost in all the noise.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So here's a final thought for you to consider.
All right, hit me.
With technology like Sentry Mode becoming more common, not just on Teslas, but maybe all kinds of cars in the future, how do you think that's going to change the way we think about crime? The way police gather evidence? Even the way we act when we're out in public?
That's a big question.
It is, and it's not just about catching vandals. It's about how this kind of constant recording, this passive surveillance, might change our whole society, the way we think about privacy, the way we behave.
It's like, are we all going to be on camera all the time?
It's possible, and it's not necessarily a bad thing, but it's something we need to think about
Yeah.
because it goes way beyond just this one case in Texarkana.
Food for thought.
Exactly.
Today is your lucky day. Today is the day that our $3 website works for you, paying you directly to your PayPal daily. Imagine $3 ongoing continuous payments to your PayPal account. Imagine falling asleep and waking up to $300 in your PayPal account. How would this make you feel? How could this help you? What bills could you pay? What kind of fun could you have? What does that retirement look like now? All for a one-time payment of $3. This website is DFY done for you, fully built and completely hosted, and never stops collecting payments for you. You have spent $3 on coffee on a regular, but that coffee won't help you create multiple streams of income. Click the link below.